you of our love, so listen to our hearts. If words could fall like rain from these lips of mine, and if I had 1,000 years, Lord, I would still run out of time. If you listen to my heart, every beat will say, thank you for the life, thank you for the truth, thank you for the way. So listen to our heart, please hear our spirit sing, and hear us sing a song of praise, a simple song of praise. From those who have redeemed, we will use the words we know to tell you what.
Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. I'm Brandon Hathaway, the preacher at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. I want to thank you for joining me today as once again we open up our Bibles and we study as we are continuing to read throughout the New Testament in the year's time. And so my verse of the day is picking a verse out of those chapters that we're reading Monday through Friday and to just kind of hopefully help motivate you to read the rest of the chapter and just look at one of those verses and talk about it. And, of course, make the offer that if you have any questions with what you are studying, that I'd be more than happy to study with you. Good morning, Nancy. And so I'm just always happy to be able to do this. Enjoy getting up. Helps me to make sure I read my Bible in the morning as I go over the verse and verses around it. So it's just always wonderful to do that. I want to, again, make sure everybody knows that we got our gospel meeting going on. It is today and tomorrow, and we have Brother Sean Bain from Hendersonville, Kentucky, who has been doing an excellent job at presenting the Word of God, and I want to invite you to go ahead and join us tonight at 7 p.m. as he talks about what makes marriage last. And then if you go back to listen to yesterday's lesson, which I encourage you to do, it might be split up a little bit. Had some technical difficulties. Very first few minutes of the lessons part on one video, and then I saw that we was having some technical difficulties, and I threw up my phone and recorded the rest of the lesson. So, but we did get most of it on that, and so I do encourage you to go listen to that. And it was a good lesson on the number one intimacy of marriage, the spiritual intimacy that we should have. So, and then if you can join us tomorrow night, he'll be talking on living because of God. So, anyways, let us go ahead and get to our verse of the day. John chapter 7 and verse 7. John chapter 7 and in verse 7, which reads, "The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify of it." I'm doing a pretty good job at getting one sneeze in per video. Start over there. I'll probably get a second one. The world as soon as I talk, I know I'm going to start sneezing. Alright. The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify of it that its works are evil. So, as we read this verse, Jesus, of course, he is choosing to avoid the Jews because they are seeking to kill him. His brothers are trying to get him come and show his works in public, because why would you hide them? And of course, they don't believe. They truly don't believe him. And so he brings this point out here. He says, the world does not hate you, but it hates me, and there's a reason for it. The world hates me because I testify that its works are evil. Now, when we consider what the Word of God is saying there, so many today get caught up in the point of we focus on the love of Jesus. And so many today would say, well, Jesus want to do that, God want to do that. And here we have a verse of exactly what Jesus says. Jesus says he testifies of the evil works today. And understand that's not just speaking of murder and stealing, but Jesus would point out evil works and sexual immorality, whether that's adultery, homosexuality, bestiality, and he'd point out. Of course, we know that he went forth and drove out those who were making the place of worship for God a place of thieves, where they were selling and making money and making profit off of their brethren. And so Jesus, as Peter tried to, put his thoughts into what should happen. He says, I won't let this happen. I won't let you be taken. I won't let you die. And he had to turn around and tell him, get behind me, Satan. And so Jesus was forward about pointing out sin. Same thing with John the Baptist when we consider why he was beheaded. It was because he was willing to point out sin, and not just to those of the low lives, but to the king who was living in a sexual immoral relationship and was doing wrong. And so, we got examples through the Word of God to speak against sin. And if we're not following in the footsteps of Christ and speaking against the sin that he has defined as sin, as transgressions, as iniquity, then we're not followers of Christ. And so we have to remember, it's not that I'm just putting my opinion out there. I'm saying, well, this just makes me feel sick, or I just think that's wrong. It's not me. It's not the rules I made up. It's the rules and laws that we find in our Bible. And so we must follow by that. And so I want to thank you for joining me again today. I'm so happy again that you're willing to join me and to listen to these videos later on throughout the day, and making comments and sharing them. That helps it get out there a little more. And so thank you. And I want to thank you always. And so again, if you're able to join us tonight, please come be with us as we meet at 7 o'clock for our worship this evening, and Sean will be presenting another lesson. And I look forward to it. And again, tomorrow night at 6:30. Of course, you're always welcome to join us anytime that you can be with us. And we meet every Sunday at 9:30 for Bible class, 10:30 for worship, and 7 p.m. for evenings, or 5 p.m. for our evening worship. And so, if you have any questions or comments that you would like, you can send us an email or give me a phone call, or you can text my cell, or send us a regular postcard. So I thank you again for joining us. I will talk to you later.